Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead. Mike got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle with the 15 to the 20, breaks 3 to the 25 to the 30 to the outside. 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown!
Toward Bryant. He will glove it toward Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this TGI Mickey Ficky Friday. It's the weekend, baby. And I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching this on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to the show's page, go to Shawn and Maya in the morning, like that page as well. So not only will you be following Sports Zone Chicago, but you'll be following Shawn and Maya in the morning as well. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, listen, go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That's the little bell next to it. That'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, if you're watching this on our mobile app, please don't tell us you didn't know we had a mobile app. Come on, baby. We have a mobile app. You got to keep up with the Joneses in them. Okay, so listen, go to wherever you get your apps from. It doesn't matter if it's iTunes or Google Play or Amazon or Walmart or Kmart or 7-Eleven or Zayre or Zemsky, Macy, Montgomery Ward, Woolworths, Weebolts, Gold Blast. It doesn't matter. You go there, you type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it, you take us with you on the go. So not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew, and I mean a slew of articles thanks to my man Clarence Council III. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. Now, if you're watching this on a Roku channel, I like that kind of party, baby. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Sports Zone Chicago, we have our own Roku channel. So if you have a Roku television in the house, do us a favor. Download Sports Zone Chicago's channel to your television. Put us there next to the big boys, Netflix, Hulu, Prime, Apple TV, HBO Max, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Stars. Oh, yeah, new episode of Raising Kanan today, baby. Oh, yeah. But I digress. Put us there, watch it on the big screen. How run the big screen at Mickey Ficky now. You can also tweet the show. Tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's CHI at Sports Zone Shy. But if you want to follow me, just me personally online. Want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. Listen, we got a great show, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or a mobile app, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here in the thread. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best Chicago morning sports talk show around. And that's you. So bring them all, baby. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. Like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it. Just bring it. And, man, let's check out the chat because the chat is jumping. Woo-wee. Cornelia Squall's in the house. What up, what up, what up, sports stars? How about them Cubs? All right, Cornelia, stop with your nonsense. Cub fans. Shorty says top of the morning to you. Stop with your nonsense, Shorty. He's like, go Cubbies. What? Stop. All right, Junior, stop with your BS. You too. Michelle Walls. a Mickey Vicky Freaky Friday, baby. Freaky Friday. Uh-oh. Freaky Friday from Shawn. Rick Gonzalez is in the house. He says, good morning, Shawn, and everyone in the chat. Sox got that W. Yeah, we did, baby. Yeah, we did. One more for the good guys. Bear the F down and FGB. That's right. FGB. FGB. Man. Rick Gonzalez, you like the shirt, huh? Autos Locos forever, Holmes, eh? Excuse me. That's funny. Listen, I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know this. More of the usual suspects will chime in as the show goes on. That, my peoples, I can promise you. Listen, we got a great show. Harrison Graham from Chicago Bears Now joins us today at 10 o'clock. We're going to go over the draft picks, selections for the Bears, and get his thoughts on those, as well as the Shedeur Sanders situation as well. Yeah. Michonne, yes, thank you very much. Please, Cubs fans, give it a rest. All right. You can say you're welcome. All right. We softened up the Brewers for you by pummeling them yesterday. They're limping back up across the cheese curtain up into Milwaukee, where you guys are going to face them today, and they're hurting because we laid the smack down on their candy asses yesterday. Yeah, baby, baby. Yes. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. So if you're wondering why my voice is a little so we had a get together yesterday. My buddy Ed, who owns Output, opened up his third location. Open up his third location in Berwyn. Yesterday was the official opening of it. That's my cookie. It was the official opening of it yesterday. They had a ribbon cutting ceremony with the town of Berwyn, the mayor, the Chamber of Commerce was there as well, and a lot of us were there too. So crazy night yesterday. Then I got up this morning at 4 o'clock a.m. for CrossFit. Heavy deadlifts this morning. So my voice is a little crazy. I've been drinking water. I should be good. But it was a good time last night. Let me tell you, it was great. I love to see my guy's success. All right. His third spot here. He actually has 4. He has a ghost kitchen in Vegas. With that, for those of you who don't know what a ghost kitchen is, it's not a brick and mortar, but they make Output wings. So if you wanted to order them, you could. If you're in Vegas, you can order them throughout the city. You just go online and so they're out in Vegas. And then he's got the original, which is on Grand. He's got Output Wrigleyville, and now he's got Output Berwyn. So it was a good time last night. A good time was had by Al. Some people I haven't seen in a while, which was really, really cool. And so that's why my voice is a little craziness. A little crazy. But it's not going to stop. The show must go on. The show must go on. I sound like Ken Davis now. I got a deeper voice. Funny, Steve-O, funny. Cornelia said, what's the address that I'll put in Berwyn? Because I'm pretty close to Berwyn. It's on Grove Street. I want to say 3248 Grove Street. If you know, if you're familiar, are you familiar, Cornelius, with Berwyn? It's one. Put it this way: it's one block west of Oak Park, right by the train station. All right, right by the tracks. Okay, on the corner is called Gaia, Gaia, Gaia Italian Restaurant, behind on Grove Street, Grove and Windsor. I think Windsor is the street that runs along the tracks. And on Grove and Windsor is an Italian restaurant called Gaia, Gaia. Then there's an alley right behind that, and he's adjacent to the alley. Yes, Mashawn, let me tell you, those burpees, man. I saw those, and I was like, damn you, Mashawn. I didn't even get through all the burpees because they were so stupid. I only got through 36 burpees. Actually, it might have been close to 40 because I got some in the fourth round. But yeah, Cornelius, I want to say 3248 Grove Avenue. And it's a real nice spot. Really, really nice. Modern, contemporary. Man. Oh, snap. My man Jay Grizz checking in from the East Coast. He said, TGIF, what up, Superback and Sports Owners? Hope everyone has a blessed Friday and a weekend. Come on, man. Now you got to start with that nonsense. Go, Cubs, go. See, you got to come in. You got to contribute to this nonsense. Huh, Jay Grizz? You, who else is up there? You, Cornelius, Junior. Oh, it's your Cubs nonsense. My man, Follow Mousy, Chris Edgerton. What's up, Papa? How are you? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. But yeah, last night was fun. Whew, I'm hurting. I'm telling you. After I pick up the warden from CrossFit, your boy's taking a nap. That's for sure. For sure. Man, oh man. But as I said, at 10 o'clock at the top of the hour, we have Harrison Graham is going to join us. We're going to talk Bears draft picks. Are you guys happy with the Bears draft picks? Do me a favor in the chat. Give me your grade. Guys, give me your grade on the Bears draft this year. A plus, A minus, B plus, B minus, C plus, C minus. What are your grade? What's your grade for the Bears draft that just concluded this year? Let me know. I want to see what you guys got, what you're thinking. Okay. Okay. All right, we got a couple. Everybody else just put your grades in. My man Junior, he says B. Okay. Michelle Walls gives it a B as well. Cornelius Squalls gives it a B plus. Okay. Jay Grizz gives it a C. Chris gives it a B to a B plus. Okay. Rick Gonzalez gives it a B. Okay. My man Steve-O in the background says C plus. Okay. Okay. I'm going back and forth on it. I think I gave him a B minus to a B. The reason being is this: you didn't address the safety position. Okay, and it seemed like that you're always they seem to be a step behind. I think there were a couple of situations. One, there was a rumor, and they're not going to comment on rumors, but there was a rumor that the Bears had a deal in place to trade up if Ashton Genty fell to a certain spot. All right. He didn't. Apparently that thing never went through. Then they didn't get a running back. All right. Travion Henderson went right before us. They still could have taken Caleb Johnson. They didn't. There were a lot of other running backs that they could have taken. But I'll tell you what. I do like their Kyle Manangai. I like that young man. It's funny, Jay Grizz and Junior. So yesterday I was my day off from CrossFit, but I went in to do supplemental stuff because I do some just like chest, upper body stuff on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So even though I didn't go to class, I went at 10 o'clock. After 10 o'clock, when there's nobody in the gym, just to do that. So I brought I had a phone. They have a Bluetooth speaker that we hook up whoever's working in the small gym just usually hooks up their phone to the speaker. So I hooked up my phone, and UNITY came out yesterday. I thought you fools. UNITY. I was like, oh damn, Jay Grizz and Junior. My two guys, man. I'm like, holy cow. So that was funny. I thought, luckily there was no one in the gym because I just started laughing. People just would have thought I was a nutso if anyone was in the gym, and I just started laughing. But that's, yeah. Chris says, Shawn, how you like the new City Connect jerseys? Man, Chris, those are fire. Those are fire. Man, oh man, do I really, really like those. I like those new City Connect jerseys. Oh, you mean these City Connect jerseys? So at Output yesterday, some dude came in wearing one. Some dude came in wearing one. I'm like, damn, who do you have? Oh, he had Canerco. He had Paul Canerco. And then he had that. And then his boy had this hat. His boy came in. There's two guys and a young lady came in. One of the guys had the jersey, and the other guy had this hat. Did you see Lewis Robert wearing? Like, that is dope. He walked by, I was sitting at the bar. I'm like, hey, bro. I said, that hat is dope. But don't get it twisted. This hat's dope, too. This hat is dope, too. The all-black one, as opposed to the red pinstripe one. I told you I got to get them both now. I wish I had a guy. That's one thing. I don't got a guy who would give me my hats. Like I said, I told you, I got a place to go. But it's my cousin's boy, but his family. So I don't know their family. So I don't know. So I definitely need to get both of these hats. The jersey, I got a guy. Definitely got a guy for that. I'm gonna get one of these before my first. I might wear this to the first, because I think the White Sox are wearing these tonight, if I'm not mistaken. I believe they're wearing them tonight for the first time. Jay Grizz. You know what, Jay Grizz? All right, 45 and Jordan on the back. That'd be tight. I'm getting my customized Sierra 33. But those are fire. Those are fire. Man. Nike. Tip of the cap. You've outdone yourself again. You've outdone yourself. And I don't understand why people don't like them. Right? It's just dope. It's dope. They're dope. A whole bunch of people are gonna be wearing those at the games around the way this summer. Those are tight. Those are tight. I love it. Hey, Cub fans, Nike finally did you a solid. They gave you your City Connects are pretty good. They're the nicest ones you've gotten so far. Though the baby blue, I saw the other day there were tons of people rocking the baby blue. Some had sweatshirts on, others had jerseys with stuff underneath it because it was cold. But that's pretty tight. That's pretty tight. Your City Connect jerseys this year. It's pretty tight. I was like, okay. Rick says your hat is iconic. Those hats are meh. No, this is legit. You got to think Eazy-E and Ice Cube and all them back in the 90s when this came out for rocking this bad boy. Vatos Locos forever, Holmes. Remember, excuse me, Eazy-E was rocking this. Guys from NWA were rocking it. And that put it on the map big time. Big time. Yeah, this hat is classic. I had to get it. Was it last year or 2 years ago I got it? Because I had a couple of different White Sox hats, but I didn't have the fitted on-field hat. So I broke down, spent $50 on this, and man, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I wore this yesterday. I had a black shirt, black polo with this. Oh man. Yeah, Rick, this hat is iconic. It is great stuff. Great stuff. Well, listen. I'm fired up, man. I can't wait to talk about it. We'll talk a little baseball. All right. You bet your ass all them boys rocked it. Yep. Yeah, is that in the Raiders? Because remember, the Raiders were in LA too, and the silver and black. LA was in love with the Raiders, boy. In love with the Raiders. Anything black everyone wore in LA. Anything black. Yep. Jay Grizz, that's right. That's right. And then Major League Baseball, they started doing a cool thing. They started making different colors. So they had, because most people in LA are Dodger fans. Then they started having the Dodgers hat all black. Same logo, but all black. They started, changing colors of the hats. But not before this took over and it hit the country, hit the nation by storm. Took the nation by storm, baby. I tell you, man. But listen, let's take a quick break. Let me get the word off to CrossFit if she's ready. All right. On the other side of the break, we will definitely hit top of the morning topics. All right. We got a couple of them to talk, so don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Many will hear the calling. Few will earn the title. United States Marine. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
We are looking for a few heroes, mentors, trailblazers, innovators, a passion to change lives, spark curiosity, open hearts, and awaken minds, help students answer the question, who am I? This could be your calling, but this is no job. It's the journey of a lifetime. Be a hero. Be a teacher.
Mental health and learning disorders don't discriminate. 17 million children and adolescents in the United States live with disorders like anxiety, depression, ADHD, and dyslexia. Less than half get the help they need to thrive. Help the Child Mind Institute change these children's lives. Visit childmind.org.
Just want to make sure you swing out a good pitch in that situation.
And it was a good pitch. Hit out to right center field. Cruz back at the wall. It's gone! Another dinger for Dansby. Second of the series, sixth of the year. One or more runs, we got more runs. Comes on the board here in the fifth. Kyle Tucker into right center field. Reynolds back at the wall, and it is gone! The king has left the castle. Kyle Tucker, home run number 8, second homer of the inning, and just like that, we're tied at 2.
Two big, huge swings of the bat here.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of the Marquee Network. Cub fans, I agree with your excitement. King Tuck is a freaking monster. He's a freaking monster. Dansby Swanson coming out of his slump a little bit, like this just said in the broadcast. 2 homers in the series, and he was the only guy. I know you need a third baseman, but he was the guy that was really started off slow, started off the season slow, and the big money guy, and you needed him to start chipping in, start carrying his weight. Well, guess what? This past series, has he broken out of his slump? We don't know. We'll see. We'll see if it continues. But man, he tattooed that one. That's for damn sure. Man. Jay Grizz had the black and gray Bo Jackson sneakers and the 34 on the back. Yeah. Those Nike cross trainers. Yes. They should bring those back, bro. They should. But let's get it cracking, baby. Guys, you know how we do. The first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
First top of the morning topic, your Cubs, baby. Your Cubs, not mine, yours. Cubs beat the Dogs not out of the Pirates 8-3 yesterday. Colin Ray, he gets the win. He's 2-0 on the season. He went 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 punch-outs. Ian Happ, 3 for 4 with a double, his 9th of the season, driving in his 16th RBI on the campaign. Dansby Swanson, as we just saw, was 2 for 4 with a homer, his 6th of the season, driving in his 17th RBI of the season. Seiya Suzuki, 2 for 4 with 2 homers yesterday, his 8th and 9th, bringing in his 6th, 27th, and 28th runs of the season. You saw King Tuck. He was 1 for 4 yesterday with a homer, his 8th of the season, driving in his 28th RBI on the year. Keeping it moving, the next top of the morning topic tonight, the Cubs travel across the cheese curtain. Travel up 94 to Milwaukee to face the Brewers. First pitch is at 7:10 p.m. Central. You can catch that game. Actually, I think that's mistaken. Yeah, that is not. Let me take that down. Yeah, it is not on a Marquee Network. It is on Apple Plus. Apple Plus. Apple TV Plus. So let me get that right. There we go. It's on Apple TV Plus, or you can listen to it on their flagship station, 670 AM. The probables for tonight's game for the Cubs. Ben Brown is on the bump for the Northsiders. He's 2-2 with a 6.04 ERA going up against Quinn Priester for the Brew Crew. He's 1-0 with a 3.79 ERA. The next top of the morning topic. Yeah, baby. The good guys. That's what I'm talking about. The good guys laid the smack down on the candy asses of the Milwaukee Brewers yesterday. Shut them out 8-0. Shawn Burke, he got the win. He's 2-4 on the season. He went 6 innings, 2 hits, 3 earned runs. No earned runs, 3 walks, 5 punch-outs. Lewis Robert, 2 for 4 with a double, his third of the season, driving in 4 RBIs on the day. 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th RBIs on the campaign. Miguel Vargas was 1 for 3 with a homer, his second of the season, driving in 3. His 10th, 11th, and 12th runs of the season. Andrew Benintendi was 1 for 3 with an RBI, his 11th on the season. Tonight, next up, one of the topics, the White Sox hold the Astros. They host the Astros tonight at the rate. First pitch is at 6:40 p.m. You can catch that game on Chicago Sports Network or listen to it on their flagship station, ESPN 1000. The probables for tonight's game: Houston is going to trot out Framber Valdez. He's 1-3 with a 4.00 ERA going up against Davis Martin for the good guys on the south side. He's 1-3, not 3. He's 1-3 with a 3.24 ERA. Glad we avoided the sweep from the Brewers. Helped out the Cubs a little bit with that win. And I will never, call me petty, but I just cannot forgive the Astros. I will always hate them. They'll be cheaters. And I know it's hypocritical. I know. But I just don't like that team. For what they did, the way they stole that World Series. And then there's literally nothing they could do about it. What could baseball do? All right? Because let's not forget, gambling is a huge part of sports. So had you given the World Series, stripped the World Series and given it to their opponent, what happens to all the gamblers who bet? I forgot who do they play when they won it? I don't remember who they played. Then they would have a claim in it. They would have a claim. Oh, Rick, yeah, good job, good call. Any updates on the man that fell from the stands? No, I didn't hear. He was carried off on a stretcher. But yeah, dude, what the hell? That's crazy. At the trash throws. Yeah. I know, Rick. Who the hell has Apple TV Plus? Nobody. I've heard of it, but no one's got it. It's crazy. But we don't got to worry about it because we don't watch the Cubs. But I feel your point. Who the hell is Apple TV Plus? My man King Book of World checking in. What's up, Popeye? Says salute everyone in Shawn. Late, but here. I appreciate it, baby. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. The Cubs got after Paul Skeens. Yeah, their ace. Cubs got after him yesterday, boy. They got after him. I was like, oh, snap. So, actually, I just opened up the paper, Rick. This is from Maddie Lee from the Chicago Sun-Times. Says the fan who fell from PNC Park stands during the Cubs-Pirates game Wednesday remains in critical condition in the hospital as of Thursday morning. according to a post by a verified X account for Pittsburgh Public Safety, which includes police, fire, and EMS. That's what they said. He's in critical condition. The Pirates released a statement from Chairman Bob Nutting. Pause. We are all deeply saddened and truly heartbroken after the terrible accident that occurred last night. It was one of the most difficult moments many of us have ever experienced. We are devastated. Pirates baseball is a community, and our fans are like family. In times like these, we must come together, support one another, and keep him and his loved ones in our prayers. We also want to thank and appreciate the efforts of the first responders who rushed to his attention and provided him compassionate care. The Pirates did not provide further information on the fans' condition, saying any update would come from the appropriate medical personnel in conjunction with his family. Okay. So there you go. There you go. I want to know what led to that. I want to know how that happened. Yeah, I hope he pulls through as well. Yeah, Rick, I hear you. Baseball has cheaters and corruption all the way back to our Sox in the early 1900s. 8 men out. Those guys were banned from the game. Hence the name of the movie, 8 Men Out. 8 men were banned. JonahJackson is the face of that team. Yeah. James Ford. He's checking in. What's up, Papa? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. I hear you, Rick. I hear you. You know. What the hell was that? That was a big something right out of my window, out of my periphery. I got great peripheral vision. That was one of the reasons I was always a good running back. So I see things, that many people don't see. I catch them real quick. It looked like it might have been a big bee, a bumblebee on the outside, but whatever. I digress. Cub fans are in a good spot. You start division play today. Lord have mercy. Lord knows you went through a stretch. A stretch. How many times you played the Dodgers? 3 times? The Dodgers, the Padres, the Diamondbacks. Man. Lord have mercy. That was tough to start the season. Woo. Now you're into the division. Now you're going up to Milwaukee. Here's where you help yourself. Here's where you can widen that lead. In the NL Central. You're 2 games ahead of Cincinnati, 3 games ahead of Milwaukee, 5 ahead of St. Louis, and 7 ahead of Pittsburgh. So who today? Cincinnati. Oh, they're playing Washington. So you got to hope Washington, the Nationals, are 14 and 18. Yeah, okay, a little under 500. Washington's taking on Cincinnati. So the Cubs got a nice little cushion. But finally, again, division play is in for you guys. And you can start making some noise. You can start separating yourselves. Because remember, I don't like Cubs or their fans, but you have a really good shot at the division this year. A phenomenal shot. I think it's yours for the taking, to be honest. You started off after that gauntlet of an opening month. You started off well. You came out in first place in the NL Central, despite that crazy schedule. Yeah, I think you do. With the loss of Justin Steele, your ace, all that, and you're still in first place in the NL Central. That's fortitude. That's resilience. That's Craig Counsell. A lot of people were calling for his job last year. Why? I don't know. Okay, people even to this day they're still saying, "Oh, he's an $8 million man. We should fire him." Dude, this guy, let him cook. The Cubs lead the major leagues in Runs scored, stolen bases. Come on, man. Base runners don't just steal bases. Those are called from the dugout. All right. Craig Counsell is worth all the money he's getting. Got you guys in first place. Got you guys running, scoring runs. All right. It's a fun brand of baseball to watch. All right. Fun brand of baseball to watch, especially for Cub fans. All right. You are never out of it, and you know this. You can be down 2 runs, 3 runs in the 9th. Doesn't matter. You still believe. Why? Because they still believe. The Cubs themselves still believe they have a chance. All right. It was a couple bunts laid down. What did I tell you? Fundamental baseball. Fundamental baseball. You know what? When you're a good team and you got guys who can hit the ball out of the park like the Cubs do, they have a slew of them. But then you got guys on that team who will lay down a bunt either to move a runner over or just to get on. What do you do? What do you do as a defense? Because you know they have the power to hit it out, and yet they can still small ball you to death. Cubs are playing good, solid baseball. I know you still need a third baseman, okay, with a good bat, but I hear you. I hear you. It's going to be a fun time up on the north side. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. All right? And God forbid they make the move and re-sign Kyle Tucker. Whew. It ain't going to be cheap. That's for damn sure. It ain't going to be cheap. But you signed this guy. Junior sent me something today right before the show. And they're talking, and in it, I forgot where it was a Facebook post or something. And on it, it said, or in the post, there was a video. I don't know who it was, but they were saying that they're gonna compare the 2016 Chris Bryant MVP year to Kyle Tucker's year this year. We don't know if he's going to win MVP or not. Who knows? Early in the season, way too early to even think about that. But at the rate that Kyle Tucker's going, he is having a phenomenal season, and he will be in the MVP talks. I know, Rick. It's going to be very difficult. Rick says it's going to be hard for us, Shawn, until training camp. Cubs going to be irrelevant, and our White Sox are going to be. Cubs are going to be relevant, and our White Sox are going to be irrelevant. Yes, I know. So I've only gone to one game this year so far. That's in June, Mexican Heritage Night. Yeah. Foster Covers checking in. What's up, Papa? How are you? Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Yeah, King Booker Will, fundamental baseball, man. All right, you don't need to knock the ball out of the park to score a run. Get them on, get them over, get them in. That's baseball. And the Cubs are doing that very well. And they're hitting the home run very well, too. Don't get me wrong. They're not just small balling you to death. All right? They're not just doing that. Like, okay, we're just going to single here, a bunt here. No. Cubs aren't doing that nonsense. No. The Cubs, when you don't think that they're ready or they're going to, man, they lay down a bunt. And you already know they're going to steal. You already know that. So, good start to the season by the Cubs. God, does it make me... It irks me to say all these good things about the Cubs. But I got to do it. I got to keep it a buck. All right, call it like I see it. And I see the Cubs are playing some really good baseball. And if you get a chance to head up to Wrigley, highly suggest you go. Highly suggest you go check out some good baseball being played by the Cubs, by the Northsiders. Okay? Anyone, any day can be the hero. And I think that's huge for a team. When you have guys who, you got the big boys who are bopping now. Dansby Swanson seems to be waking up. Then you get other guys who want to commit and contribute. Okay, what was your catcher's name? Was it Carson Kelly or Kelly? Where the hell did he come from? He's hitting home runs and game winners. That's the sign of a good team. That's a team that has everybody engaged. All right, because especially some baseball teams, when you're on the crappy teams like the White Sox or other teams, you get guys who just aren't really engaged. Okay, they're just there for the paycheck, try to win a game, whatever. Okay, cool. No, fine. We'll be back tomorrow. But you guys don't die easy. You guys don't die easy, and that's a good thing for you guys because at any particular point, you could put up a big crooked number on that board. It could be the 4th inning, 5th inning, 6th inning, 8th inning, 9th inning. It doesn't matter. And that's the cool part about your squad and for you being a fan of that baseball team because you know it as well they can put up a big crooked number. They are never out of it. And that starts with the manager. His belief in his players. And then their belief in themselves. Craig Counsell's starting to earn that money, baby. He's starting to earn that money. So all you people who want Craig Counsell fired, it's not happening. It's not happening. What he's doing, he's taking a team to the top of the NL Central, and who knows where after that. Again, we still have a long season. Knock on wood. The Cubs are still healthy, obviously minus Justin Steele. Okay, just pray. If you're a Cub fan, pray that you don't get an injury somewhere, a key injury. All right, because you guys are in a really good spot, man. Yes. So you're saying coaching matters. Yes, it does, doctor. Yes, it does. And for anyone who doesn't believe it, you're nuts. All right, you're nuts. Counsell was one of the highly regarded managers in baseball. I think he's one of the highest paid managers in baseball. And he's earning every penny. Cubs are in first. They're doing the little things. Everyone's contributing. There's no infighting. There's no bitching and moaning, no backstabbing in the clubhouse. Everybody seems that everyone likes each other. Seems like everybody's on the same page. Seems like everybody wants to win. Seems like everybody's willing to contribute. It seems like everyone has checked their ego at the door for the common good of this team. King Booker was this. I'm the 2025 hater of the year. Cubs still suck. They don't, but they do. I agree with you. They suck. I know you're in first place, but you still suck. So I saw the guy yesterday. I'm like, yeah, you guys suck. Like, we're in first place. I know. But you and your fans still suck. Then my good guys, I don't even know. So Colson Montgomery is going down to Arizona Fall League to work on his swing. Lord help me. Lord help me. Steve said, who hurt you as a child? King Booker Wilson, one of the hairs in my beard just turned gray, giving him props. And our White Sox, Colson Montgomery, he was supposed to be the heir apparent to Tim Anderson. What is it with our developmental section of this team? We don't develop players. Player development is non-existent for the White Sox. It was headed up by Chris Getz for a long time. Now I don't even know who the director of player development is in the minors. But now they're sending him back to Arizona to work on his swing. Man, when you start working on a guy's swing, like that really messes with his mind. And baseball is such a cerebral game. What are you doing to one of our top prospects? What are we doing? because it's frustrating seeing this youngster wanting to get to the bigs. Maybe there's a lot of pressure put on him to get to the bigs. Maybe you put pressure on himself to take over TA's spot when TA left. Maybe he's just not built for this. It's possible. It's also possible he's just going to be having a rough patch. It could either one of those, both of those things can, either one of those things can be true. Maybe he's not built for the majors. Or maybe he is built and just starting off slow. But it's frustrating when your top prospect can't get to the show. All right, it's really difficult as a fan. Got a kid you've been waiting for 2 years now, maybe two and a half years, and now he's just sending him back to instructional ball to work on his swing. That's not very reassuring for Sox fans. Not very reassuring at all. So they're going to continue to play this stupid game and not develop players and wonder why we don't have any potential superstars on this team. This is why you don't develop. You don't develop. Why? I don't know what goes into developing a baseball player. Okay, I don't. But they need to readjust that minor league system. The coaches and the scouts down there, or coaches in particular, they need to be fundamentally sound when they get up here and developed, or developing, I should say, because you never fully develop, but developing when they get to the show here. And they need it, because this is going to be one long-ass season for us Sox fans. Another one. Or we're going to lose another 100 games. All because you don't want, you can't develop players. Frustrating is all get out. Frustrating. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. All right, on the other side of the break, we're going to welcome Harrison Graham from Chicago Bears Now, from Chat Sports. Chicago Bears Now, we're going to have him. We're going to talk a little football. We're going to talk about the draft grades. A lot of you gave me your draft grades earlier. They're up here in the thread. All right, we'll get his grade on the draft. All right. So let's take a quick break. And the other side of the break, we'll welcome Harrison Graham. Don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the Superback, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Chi. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Hi, guys. Hey. Hi, Megan. Hey, Jessica. Megan, you're a tramp. Ryan Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. That zit is huge, zit face. Ugly.
Hey, bud, what you doing?
I'm playing with cars.
Cars? Can you show me what a car does? Whoa. Hold on a second. First of all, this is a school zone. So you need to put down your cell phone, stop texting, and let's get to driving. Now you're coming up to a stop sign, right? You need to slow down and stop before you hit that Y line. I want you to look left, right, left. You don't want to get hit by a car going on your left and to your right to make sure you don't get sideswiped by a guy coming from your right. You're coming, and you see a crosswalk. You better slow your horses down because the number one rule of driving is always yield to pedestrians. Now stop, pull over, and you are done driving. Gosh, what do they teach you kids in school nowadays?
Then, as you saw, we took Colson Loveland at the 10th pick today. Someone that we're really excited about, both the staff, coaching staff and the front office coming together, identifying a guy that we really liked, that we thought had a dynamic skill set, create mismatches. I think more importantly, too, is in terms of our offense can create, really beef up our 12 personnel. Someone that pairs well with Cole, along with other playmakers, and really creates headaches for a defense to go against. Love his competes, his fire. This kid is, he's physical, he's tough. He plays the game the right way. When you watch the tape, there's an energy level that comes with him, and you can see it throughout the game, and it's infectious to other guys.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of the Chicago Bears. That is our general manager, Ryan Poles, talking about our first overall pick, our first round pick, but our first overall pick in the draft, Colson Loveland. All right, the more and more I think about this pick, the more and more I get excited about this pick. A lot of people we're clamoring for Tyler Warren out of Penn State. But, man, this kid is going to provide us with something. I'm not shitting on Tyler Warren by any stretch. Okay? I'm not doing that at all. I think Tyler Warren's going to have a great career in the NFL as well. But, again, this is the guy that Ben Johnson wanted. I believe this was his pick. All right? Let him cook. I think he knows what players would work best in his system. All right. Well, we're going to welcome our guest today. You see him all over the internet. The Chicago Bears now he's on his Facebook channel. He's on Facebook, on YouTube. And I can't wait to get his thought on this pick, but also the draft in its entirety. You can find him on Twitter at HGraham and NFL. Again, he's the host of Chicago Bears Now. Guys, just welcome back to Shawn and Maya, Harrison Graham. Harrison, what's up, Papa? How are you? Good morning.
Hey, how are you doing? It's been a little bit, but I'm doing good. Got through the draft craziness, and now we kind of wait for some of the on-field stuff to resume. So, fun times. Yeah. You know what? I was excited. As I said, the more I think about it, the more and more I like this pick. Talk to me about the first round pick, which were with Colson Loveland. Were you surprised by that pick? And if you were, who did you want them to get? At who they had available, and then we'll talk about other players. But Colson Loveland. Yeah, in real time, I was a little surprised. I wasn't shocked. You had heard some rumblings,
right,
that certain teams liked Loveland more than Tyler Warren. And clearly the Bears were one of those teams. So yeah. I don't think anyone should have been shocked. I did like Warren a little more. I thought just what he did at Penn State, lining up in a million different positions. I thought Ben Johnson would enjoy that a little bit more. But then when you hear about him and Ryan talk about Colston, and they think he's kind of a Sam Laporta type with maybe a little more upside. It's like, okay, that makes sense. He's worked with that type of move tight end in Detroit the last few years. And I'm kind of like you. The more I've kind of let this marinate, I understand why they took him over Warren. I think he's a smoother player. He's more fluid as a route runner. He's more natural, I would say, as a receiving weapon. I saw someone put it out there that Tyler Warren's kind of more of a Dallas Clark type, just kind of a rugged player, which good player. I mean, he had a great career with the Colts and everything. I think Loveland, though, could be more of the modern tight end that you see where he's like a dynamic receiving weapon where he consistently can work the seam. You can put him on the outside and get smaller corners and let him win with his physicality out there. So I'm pretty excited about the pick. And I think it's one of those two where I think you got to kind of just trust Ben Johnson a little bit here. Obviously, we haven't seen him coach a single game yet, so we don't need to, put him on a throne. But at minimum, we know what offense looks like. He was a tight ends coach with the Dolphins and with Detroit. That's kind of how he came up in the NFL, so he knows what he wants in that position. So I like the pick. I also like that he just turned 21 years old. He's 2 years younger than Tyler Warren, who he turns 23 this month. So the upside is massive here, but I don't think it's like a boom bust upside. I think the floor is pretty high too. So I think he's going to be pretty good, and it wouldn't shock me if he was the most productive receiving tight end on this team this year.
It wouldn't shock me either. You're the second person that said it, and I was thinking the same thing about him being smooth. The way he runs his routes, he runs them very smooth. I like that when I went back and started watching more tape of him after they drafted him. I'm like, okay, I see that. He runs routes like a wide receiver, a wide receiver in a tight end's body, which is dope. Which is exactly what we need. Another weapon for Caleb. So, I'm expecting huge things from Caleb this year, with all the weapons. So, but speaking of weapons, let's go to their second pick. All right. Burden, not Jonathan. I was going to say Jonathan Burden.
Luther.
How like for Luther for 48 hours. Luther Burden. Luther Burden, give me your thoughts on this kid from Mizzou who a lot of people had a first-round grade on, and we got him where we got him in the second round. And I want to hear your thoughts because there have been a lot of positive and excitement, positive thoughts, a lot of excitement about this guy and the things he can do after Yak because he led the FBS, if I'm not mistaken, in yards after catch.
I saw Matt Miller of ESPN, who, by the way, was kind of all over what the Bears ended up doing. He was on record saying he had heard that Loveland was higher on their board than Warren. Clearly correct about that. He also puts out an annual, his 100 favorite picks from the draft. He had Luther Burden to the Bears as his favorite pick.
Yes, he did.
Overall. And it's kind of a combination of where he had guys ranked on his personal big board where fits with the team that took him, et cetera. There's a few criteria, but I agree with him. I mean, what did Ben Johnson, what was one of the things he said at the owners' meetings? We want guys who can do things after the catch. If nothing else, if he doesn't develop any further as a route runner, blocker, whatever, he is elite after the catch, Luther Burden. That is what he brings that instantly. So you talk about QB friendly, both Colston Loveland is just a natural route runner, good after the catch, can do some different things in the run game as well. Luther Burden, you can just manufacture touches for this guy. You can line him up in the backfield. You can throw quick screens to him. You can just run little option routes in the slot. He's got good footwork in there. And he is tremendous after the catch. And I think he's a little bit better of a route runner than people give credit for. Like I've seen a Deebo Samuel comp. I think he's a better route runner than Deebo. Now, he's probably not as physical as Deebo. I mean, Deebo really is built like a running back, especially, peak Deebo with his ability to just bounce off guys. But this guy can do a little bit of that as well, but he's got more wiggle out in space. He's kind of like a DJ Moore starter kit, but maybe a little more wiggly overall in his profile. He also was a good contested catch guy. He ranked pretty highly in that area per PFF in this draft among his peers. So I'm excited about him. There were some whispers that maybe at times his football attitude wasn't great. I kind of wonder if he just got tired of Brady Cook this year. The QB play fell off a cliff at Missouri. Not excusing that if that ended up being the case, but I think if this kid can have his head screwed on straight, I'm not saying he doesn't, but if he can, I think he's got massive potential. I thought he was a top 20 player in this draft. So to me, this was the definition of a BPA pick. And they talked about that after the draft. Like, look, we really wanted to lean on the board. I think this is a textbook example of that. Was wide receiver a top need? Probably not. But if you can get the 19th best player in the draft at 39 overall, I'm not going to argue with it. I think GMs get in trouble sometimes when they just draft for need. So I like the pick. I like the value. I think especially, too, when Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson went in 2 of the 3 picks prior, and I'm sure we'll talk about running back, I think they probably would have taken one of those guys. But when it fell the way they did, they're like, I mean, this guy's too good to pass up on. So we're going to take him. And I think it really just continued the theme of the offseason, which started with the hiring of Ben Johnson, then the offensive line, and then these 2 draft picks of we're just going to load up around Caleb Williams, and we are going to do everything we can to make sure he doesn't fail. I mean, that is how they have operated all offseason. So I love the pick. I love the talent. If he can, refine his route running and technical skills a little bit, I think he has massive potential.
He's a guy that got me really, really excited because I didn't know a lot about him. And when the first tape I saw, I was like, this dude got wiggle. This dude's got great lateral movement. He can stop and start on a dime. Something we haven't seen from a Bears receiver in a long time, if ever, like to this level. Yep. You know what I mean? It reminded me of some of the guys that I played with at Holy Cross and other stops. But man, his ability to stop and start is scary because you can be chasing them and puts on the brakes. You go sliding by, and then he gets back up to top speed quickly. It doesn't take him 5-6 steps to get back to top speed. His yak is awesome, and it gave me goosebumps when I was watching it, just knowing we have this type of explosive receiver on our team. We've faced a number of them, and they've done damage against us. But man, now to have one of these bad boys for us and for our quarterback and for our offense and for our team, dude, that got me so fired up. This guy, man, it's like again. We're moving into the 21st century of the NFL with a guy like this since we've been stuck in the 80s for so long. You know what I mean? So great to see this guy. And what were your thoughts on him? A lot of people said he gets a little dismayed and gets a little diva-ish if he doesn't get the ball. Is he going to be? He's got to realize you ain't number one, Papa. You got DJ Moore, who's the highest paid Bear. All right, and you got Roma Dunze, who led the NCAA in yards the year before you. All right. And you got this new tight end. What do you think about the rumors about him and him being a diva if he doesn't get the ball?
Well, a couple things. Let me first just say you made the point of his ability to, change directions, the wiggle. Usually guys who can, decelerate and then reaccelerate and change directions like that, usually they're like 170 pounds. This guy's 206. 206. So for his ability to put on the brakes, change direction, reaccelerate at that size, it's unique. You don't see it. So that's number one. As far as the rumors, I kind of alluded to it earlier. There were whispers of it. Yeah. I think that's where having Antoine Randall is just massive. You heard the same stuff about Jamison Williams, who, by the way, went to the same high school as Luther Burden before Burden transferred to a different high school. So they know each other. He actually texted Ben Johnson and said, "You got a dog in Luther Burden," which I think that was good to hear. But Antoine Randall was instrumental in helping Jamison Williams mature. We saw it when they played the Bears last year. J-Mo started jawing with Tyreek Stevenson. No surprise there. Tyreek likes to talk. And Randall kind of went right to him, got in his face like, "Hey man, like we got 60 minutes here. Let's rein this in a little bit." So I think having a guy like that who is not afraid to get in a player's face is going to be huge. You've heard reporting about what Randall has done for young players, St. Brown as well. So I think just having a credible guy who played quarterback in college like Randall L. and was an NFL wide receiver for a long time, despite not being a supreme talent, that I think that's going to be huge for the whole receiver room, but especially a guy like this. Like, to me, this is like Antoine Randall L. Take this guy in and help him grow and mature and understand, like, yeah, man, we got like 6-7 weapons that are legitimate playmakers. You might not be a 1,200-yard guy as a rookie, but you're going to get your opportunities, and when you do, it's time to make the most of them. So I love the pick. It was my favorite pick of the whole draft for the Bears, just in terms of value, upside, what he could be. I think he is the prototypical Ben Johnson receiver. Just get this guy in space and go. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, Antoine Randall L's. I'm a big fan of his. Big fan because of the things he did with the receivers over there, but also his passion. And you mentioned it, that he keeps it a buck, man. He'll get in your face. All right, he's intense. All right, his work ethic is what you alluded to. What you said, he wasn't a top receiver. He was a quarterback in college.
Yep.
But he moved to receiver. His work ethic kept him in the league for double-digit years. Okay, or I want to say was it 10 years?
I think about 10, 11 years. Yeah, he lasted a while.
Okay, and so he expects and demands the same things from the receivers, and that's what you need. All right, accountability, and I love that. I've always said, whenever you go up a level, high school to college, college to pro, the most important coaching you get is that first year.
Yep.
This guy's coming in with a dude who's done it. He won a Super Bowl with them with the Steelers. Okay, so this guy has been to the mountaintop, and he is the perfect guy for this draft pick. I think he's a perfect guy for that wide receiver room, but especially for Burden. And Burden could quietly, I shouldn't even say quietly, he can sneak up on some people because he's a home run threat.
I mean, look, I'll throw this out there. I mean, if he shows a lot as a rookie, look, I love DJ Moore. I know we all do, but like, this is what good teams do. When you become a good team, you got to make tough decisions down the road. It wouldn't shock me if a year or two from now you move off DJ. Same with Cole, with Colston Loveland. If these dudes show a lot early, like it just gives you the flexibility to move players for other assets. I mean, that's what the Eagles do. I'm telling you right now, they will trade A.J. Brown in 12 months. Like, they're going to run it back one more year. They have a lot of high-paid guys, and they'll pivot off them because that's what the good teams do. Tyreek Hill with the Chiefs. Everybody was shocked when they traded him. They won 2 Super Bowls after that. Obviously, the Bears aren't to that level yet, but when you raise the level of competition and talent in your room, and if those players hit, you're not going to keep 3 high-level guys at receiver. You're going to use assets at other positions. So I think whether it was the intent or not, if you're DJ and Cole, like, you got to bring your A game, man. Like Ben Johnson said, there's no depth chart. So right. I think that's a little tongue in cheek. I expect DJ and Cole to have big roles this year, but guys like that, you get a little bit older, you're year to year at this point. It's a new staff now. Like, these guys have won nothing here. So I really like both those picks just because I like the players, but I also think it's like, hey man, like, if these guys can play, like, they're younger, they're cheaper, they're going to be the guys that they turn to moving forward. So exciting to see. I think training camp is going to be fascinating to watch this year.
Harrison, I thought the same thing, and I was like, man, they drafted. I said, what would they move away from DJ? I'm like, no. But I'm like, wait a minute, he got that big contract. You step away from that contract, that opens up a lot of money for something else. I'm like, man. And then Cole, same thing. I'm glad you said that, because I started thinking of that as well. Them drafting these guys, not immediately take over, but the potential is there for them to take over. And man, that would suck, because I'm a big DJ Moore guy. I love DJ Moore. I like Cole. I'm not as big a fan of Cole, but I do like him. And Cole last year, for whatever reason, I have my own personal conspiracy theory, but was not used by the offense or Caleb. Like, why are you not looking for your safety valve? You know what I mean? This guy can run after the catch. Not he's a great yak guy, but he's a good guy. Solid with as far as receiving. Good with a little with run after the catch. Why we didn't look for him, I really don't know, and I don't know.
Yeah, that remains one of about 20 mysteries from the 2024 Chicago Bears. But just a couple quick contract notes. Cole's got zero guaranteed money after this year. So, again, I'm not looking to move him. I'm just saying he becomes pretty tradable after this season. And even DJ, even though they just extended him after this year, if you trade him, it clears $16 million in cap. I mean, you need about 10 on the dead money, but it just, the point I'm making is the way they've structured these contracts, they've kept themselves pretty flexible moving forward. So it's something to keep in mind if one or both of those players don't have great years in 2025.
What about BC, Boston College's own Ozzie Trapillo? First of all, the introduction of him by Seth Rollins was classic.
Yeah, that was great.
That was awesome. Giving it to the Green Bay fans, that was awesome. But what do you think about this pick of Ozzie Trapillo? Right tackle. He's played left, but this pick from BC, the alma mater of Ryan Poles.
Yeah, I like it. I thought he was more of a third-round player, but offensive tackle is kind of one of those supply and demand positions. That's kind of a position sometimes you have to take a little earlier. I mean, we saw Anthony Belton go to the Packers at like 54. I thought he was a third or fourth round player. So sometimes you just got to take these guys a little earlier. I like his versatility. He's played both spots, admittedly better at right tackle. So that's pretty interesting considering Darnell Wright's been over there. I would call, to me, he's a high floor, average ceiling guy. I don't think he's ever at all pro, but I think he could be a good starter, right? Could he be a better Braxton Jones in the NFL? I think that's on the table. I think he anchors a little better than Braxton. He moves similarly. He's a pretty good athlete. Him being 6'8" at times could actually be a detriment because you get these super bendy edge rushers. That could be a challenge, but I think he's solid. He said he's been training at both tackle spots and guard in the pre-draft process, so I think he gives you that position flex. Ryan Poles said yesterday on 1000 that initially they're going to try him at left tackle. So I don't think they want to move Darnell Wright, which I agree with. Ideally, you don't move him. I think he's an ascending right tackle in this league. Not too dissimilar from Penei Sewell in Detroit. Not quite to that level, but similar trajectory where rookie year, okay, you see the flashes. Second year, I thought the second half of last year, he was pretty damn solid. And this year could be okay, is he a Pro Bowler for the first time? I think that's on the table. So I would like to keep him at right tackle if possible. And I think, look, until Braxton's back, if you're Ozzie Trapillo, Karan Amagaji, my goal, if I'm one of those players, I'm taking this job. And I thought Ryan Poles made an interesting point that they would like to have the offensive line set in stone by training camp if possible. Well, Braxton Jones isn't going to be back until training camp at the earliest. So if Trapillo or Amagaji really show out well in OTAs, could they just have the job? I mean, that's kind of how I took that. So we'll see. It's also hard to evaluate O-line play until the pads come on too. So I'm not sure it's really going to be possible to fully have it set in stone by the start of training camp, but I do like that. Ideally, they don't want to be shuffling into mid-late August. To me, by the second preseason game, let's have your 5 settled because there's just been way too much shuffling the last few years. I mean, it's mostly been on the interior. Luckily, that's set in stone, barring an injury. But I like the pick. I don't think it's a guy who's going to have a huge ceiling, but I think the floor is pretty high. I saw, I don't know if you follow Brandon Thorne on social media. He's covered offensive line play for 20 years. He called Trapillo the most pro-ready offensive tackle in this draft, which I found pretty interesting. So that kind of feeds back to what I was saying. High floor, maybe not a super high ceiling player, but I think someone you can throw right into the mix to compete for that other tackle job.
Okay, guys, we're joined by Harrison Graham, host of Chicago Bears Now. We're talking Bears football here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. I agree. I like that. I agree with you. Keep Darnell Wright on the right side, no pun intended. And I'm worried about Trapillo. My issue is Braxton Jones had an ankle injury. You can't lift weights. You can't squat. And his biggest issue, you can't squat, you can't deadlift. Hankling, his biggest issue was the bull rush.
Yep.
So his strength has definitely lessened. He's gotten weaker because there's nothing you can do. You can't jump rope. You can't do anything with a jacked up ankle. So you made a good point about Kieran Amagaji and Ozzy. Man, you better get your claws into this position and do not let go, because there's no way that this guy, even when he does come back, how has he trained? How much strength has he lost? How much explosion has he lost? How much footwork has he lost? Because he was awesome getting around that corner and lead blocking for DeAndre Swift a couple times, man, knocking the hell out of people coming out in the second and third level. So where's he going to be when he does come back after not having been able to work and lift and get stronger to cover up his deficiencies?
Yeah, I remember that toss crack play against the Packers specifically, just 20 yards downfield, putting guys on their ass. But yeah, it's a good point though, because Ben Johnson made a comment about a month ago that with Braxton, they want him to work on his strength and his anchoring. Well, you can't do that right now. Like, you can't lift. And also on top of that, it's year 4, and that's been his biggest issue. Like, is that really going to change? Like, he's probably never going to be able to anchor that well. Doesn't mean he can't be a starter. He's good in space, good athlete, but to your point too, off this ankle, is he going to have that same burst, that same foot speed, that same athleticism? That remains to be seen. It was a pretty serious surgery, it sounded like. So they'll never say it out loud. I think privately they want Trapillo to win that job. I think they want him to take that left tackle spot and run with it. Because if he's at least, let's just say he's the same as Braxton Jones. Okay, well, you're starting that contract over. You got 4 years of that at a cost-controlled price. So, I think they're open-minded to Braxton coming back and taking that job. I think they at least feel like, okay, worst case, he's serviceable over there. We've seen that for 3 years. I don't know where Amagaji fits in. I still wonder if he's a better guard long-term with his power. I just thought last year what stood out to me was the foot speed wasn't there. Now, he's coming off an injury. He was a project. He probably was never supposed to play as a rookie. Throwing him into that Minnesota game when the night before we found out Braxton wasn't going to travel, that was borderline insane looking back at it. But, we'll see what happens there. I think with him, you almost hope, like, can you become a good backup? That's kind of what you're hoping for there, because I think Trapillo instantly is more pro-ready than Amagaji. So, I think they would like Trapillo to take that job, but in college he was better on the right side than left. So I think they want to see him get over there on the left side and see if he can make that adjustment in the
NFL. They drafted a linebacker, and I have no idea on God's green earth why they drafted this linebacker. I just took it. I think Steve-O took it out.
Ruben Hippolyte.
Why? I mean, he was a great blitzer, but I mean, that was a head scratcher to me. Your thoughts on that? Because I was like, why?
Well, when it first came in, I was like, it's not usually a good sign, because I'm not going to pretend to be Dane Brugler or something like this, but I do a pretty good amount of draft prep. And when you take someone in the 4th round, I have never even heard of. It's like, okay, that feels a little like you trying to be. This feels like smartest guy, Velus Jones vibes. Like, oh, let's outthink the rest of the draft. But I will say this: he's played a lot of ball. I think he was a 3.5-year starter at Maryland. Tremendous athlete. So once I dug into like the athletic profile, I was like, okay, putting 2 and 2 together, I understand why they did this. I may not agree with it, but I understand it. They let Jack Sanborn walk. Yeah. And the reason they did that, I think pretty clearly, and I think now it's confirmed, is they didn't think he was athletic enough, right? Too slow, instinctive player, but always going to have limitations because of his lack of athleticism. This guy's the opposite of that. He ran a 4.42 in the 40. He's fast as hell. He can really get downhill. Now, I don't think he's like an overall better football player right now than Jack Sanborn, but I think they're saying, okay, at minimum, day one, this guy is built to be an elite special teams player on every unit. And if he can develop as a football player a little bit, he could be a starting level linebacker. Now, does he ever get there? I have no idea. This is classic NFL. They try to pick for traits more often than not and lean on their coaching staff. And look, I like this staff better than the last one, so we'll see. We'll see if it works out. I do think the good news with this pick is, like I said a second ago, I think at minimum he is instantly a core special team player. He can run, he can tackle, he's physical, so I think he can do that. But the only issue I have is if he's not ready to play right away at linebacker, who's your third linebacker? Is it Eamon Ogbongbemiga? Because he's a career special teamer. Noah Sewell's shown nothing through 2 years. Now, you can always find guys on the street. My guess is they get deep into OTAs, training camp, and if they don't feel like they have a third guy, they're going to have to sign somebody. Kind of like, remember when they signed Alec Ogletree like 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah.
And he was solid. He was fine. You know, that's one of those positions, kind of like running back. You can always find guys to at least just step in and play. So they might potentially have to do that depending on where Hippolyte and Sewell's development is. I don't really have any hope for Sewell at this point, unfortunately. It was a bizarre pick. I mean, most people thought he was a 6th or 7th rounder. So, the only explanation I have is he's basically the opposite of Jack Sanborn. And clearly this new staff came in and didn't think his athletic profile was good enough to run in this defense. So they took a guy that they think can. So we'll see if they're right about it.
Yeah, they will. And I like Jack, local kid, made good, and he was instinctive. And, the thing I loved about him was his preparation is his ability to diagnose a play was second to none. And he had to, because he didn't have that speed. So he had to decide what was happening and when to go. And when he did, which was most of the time, he came downhill pretty fast and made a lot of tackles. Hence the name, the Jackhammer. All right, so but hopefully
I always said if you could give Tremaine Edmonds Jack Sanborn's instincts, he'd be the best linebacker. He'd be the best linebacker in the league.
Oh my God!
Edmonds is not very instinctive, but he's so athletic that he's a good player. I don't think he's lived up to the contract, but if you could morph those two, that'd be the best linebacker in the NFL. But it doesn't work that way.
Let's talk about my position. My man Kyle Monangai.
Yeah.
Man, this dude, I was surprised, and as I went back and started researching him more, holy cow, this dude is rather accomplished.
Yep.
Right? He led the Big Ten in rushing the season prior. This dude, watching him, his contact balance, it looked to me like I think I said it on Wednesday, like this is like a poor man's Ashton Jeanty, just without the speed.
Yeah, I've thrown that out there as well. I don't think he catches the ball like Jeanty, so that's another area where you're not getting. But yeah, they're built similarly, 5'8", 5'9", 210, 212, similar builds, the two guys. The contact balance is very good, one of the better ones in the draft. And an area he's actually better than Jeanty in is pass pro.
Pass pro.
I thought other than Travion Henderson, this guy was as good as anyone in the draft in pass pro. And I think Ben Johnson valued that a lot. We saw I don't know if you saw, but Dan Wiederer's report after the draft that Henderson was a guy they really liked. So when he went 38, they probably would have taken him instead of Burden at 39. But no, Monangai, back-to-back 1,200-yard seasons. I think he can give you a little more as a pass catcher than he did at Rutgers, but I don't think he's going to be super dynamic in that way. But he'll catch checkdowns. You could throw a screen to him every once in a while. I thought 7th round was great. I think in a normal draft, it was just so deep this year. Guys just got pushed back. I think he was like a 4th-round player in a normal draft. He can come in, compete for a rotation spot. Is he ever a 3-down, lead back? I'm not sure. But I kind of look at him like, hey, go compete with Roschon Johnson. Can you beat out Roschon Johnson? I think that's possible. I also he came from Rutgers, who's coached by Greg Schiano. Say what you want about Greg Schiano. That guy coached in the NFL, a lot of pro concepts. He knows what he's doing. So I like that. He got a lot of under center carries in college, which not a lot of these backs that come into the league get anymore. So I like that he's been in some pro concepts already. Seems like a smart player too. So, yeah, I love the value at round 7. I think the Bears would have loved to get a more dynamic player earlier. But they stuck to their board. They didn't want to force the issue, and they kind of got unlucky. I mean, I mentioned earlier Judkins and Henderson going in the 2 of the 3 picks before they picked in round 2. It happened again in the 4th round where Bashal Tootin and Cam Scadaboo go 104, 105. They picked at 109. I think they probably would have taken one of those players. So sometimes it just happens that way. You know, on the outside, we can bitch and say, oh, you should have traded up, but then you don't end up with another player you ended up getting. So It's kind of a balance you play there. I like the pickup. Is it enough to not still poke around for a Nick Chubb or a J.K. Dobbins? I don't know. I think they'll want to see probably a couple of these OTA sessions with these backs and try to make a determination if they're comfortable enough going into training camp with what they have. If they're not, they'll probably sign someone in June, I would guess.
Yeah, Nick Chubb, just stay ready. Stay ready, so you don't got to get ready. But I do like that pick, dude. And you know, he's motivated, you know, and watching his pass pro, dude, the hair on my arm stood up. That was textbook. Oh my goodness. Just decleating people, all right, pancaking people, you know, stonewalling linebackers coming in the gap, knocking DBs out of sorts. Dude, it was just beautiful. Like that is going to get him on the field.
Yeah.
That is going to get him on the field quick.
I think pass pro too, half of it is just want to. And you know that. And so many guys coming into this draft, they just don't want to do it. I mean, they probably look at it like, I'm already taking enough of a beating back here. I don't want to take 10 more hits. But if you're a day 3 guy, unless you're special as a pass catcher or as a runner, you gotta either be good on special teams or you gotta be able to do pass pro. And this guy can do that. So you know, he's not going to run away from defenders. You're not going to see a lot of 50-yard runs, but he'll turn the negative 2-yard runs into 3-yard runs, and he'll do the dirty work for you. I think he can be in a rotation right away. I'm excited to see this guy. Like he'll be one of my players to watch in the preseason. Like I want to see what he can do against NFL contact early on here.
Yeah, me too. I want to see if he's able to bounce off these guys like he was in college. You know, you deal with grown-ass men. It's not kids and walk-ons and shit like that. You're dealing with the best of the best. So, but I hope he does well because, man, I just really, really like this kid. You know, after watching him and seeing the way he runs with anger and power and explosion. Like, I wish I was looking for it. I didn't really see it. Remember how they had Saquon in the weight room when he fucking hand cleaned 400 pounds at Penn State? I wonder how much this dude hand cleans. Because the way he picks up pass pro, that's explosion like a son of a gun, man. Holy cow.
Yeah, I would imagine if you talk to people within that Rutgers program, I would guess he was one of the leaders of the weight room. I mean, you just look at the way you look at the way he's built. It's like he probably squats 550 pounds. So I'm excited about him. You know, I think he's going to have a limited upside just because, again, he's not the fastest guy, but he uses his body frame to his advantage. He's a patient runner too. He lets blocks develop. So that's a good change of pace from Swift, who can get a little impatient. So yeah, I love the value in round 7. I think him and Burden were the best value picks for the Bears in this draft, just where they got them.
Yeah, those are my 2 favorite picks. Obviously, I'm a little biased being a former running back. I think that was my first favorite. No, I still think Burden, because the explosion what that sucker does after he catches the God blessed ball is ridiculous. So I think he's 1A, and then Monangai is 1B.
I hope they line up Bird in the backfield some, run some angle routes with him. I think he could be a mismatch nightmare if you put him in the backfield. So I think they'll do some of that.
And imagine him out of a slow guy like a Jack Sanborn.
Oh, good luck. Good luck, Floos.
Hey, Harrison, great stuff, man. So before I let you go, overall grade. Give me your overall grade for this draft, the 2025 draft for the Bears.
Yeah, I think I gave it, when I did my initial grades, B, B plus. That was just a solid, sensible draft. I would have liked to maybe get a true edge rusher at some point, but I like the Shamar Turner pick, who we didn't talk about. I think he could play some edge for you as well. He was viewed as a first-round pick before the foot issue popped up.
Right.
Cost him to miss the pre-draft process. So that pick's pretty intriguing to me. I'll be curious to see if they move him around. I think he's got huge potential, but they could have taken a safety at some point. That probably becomes a top position of need next year. But I thought it was a good draft. Thought they got some good value, and it just kind of felt like, hey, like this is a Ben Johnson team now. Like Loveland, Burden, you go get another tackle. It felt like a Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams draft, and that's what it should be. If the defense isn't quite elite this year, we know it's going to be at least pretty good. But the offense takes a huge jump. I think we'd all be excited about that. So excited to get these guys, on the field. I know they've been doing some of the early offseason program. You got rookie minicamp next week, and then OTAs get going after that. So it's going to ramp up quick here.
This Turner guy, give me your thoughts on him, because he plays on the edge. He plays violently, which makes the hair on my arm stand up, because I love violent football. He has a motor. Sometimes he got suspended or kicked out of a game for punching the dude in the nuts because he got blocked.
Well, the guy put his nuts in his face, so I might have done the same thing. He's interesting, Shawn, because they had him add weight this year and they kicked him inside, and I don't think he was as good there. So I'll be curious to see where the Bears put him. Now, I think Courtney Cronin threw out this stat, so credit to her. He had over 200 snaps in his college career at 5 different defensive line spots, both defensive end alignments, both defensive tackles, and as a one tech as well. So they moved him all over the place. So maybe he just becomes this chess piece for Dennis Allen where, on passing downs, he kicks inside. On rundowns, he's playing more on the edge. They're going to have to find between him or Dexter or whoever to take some snaps at edge, because after Montez Sweat and Dio, who they also want to kick inside some, it's Austin Booker, who we'll see. I don't really expect Dominique Robinson to be on this team, so they're going to need some people to take some snaps at edge. And I think Turner and maybe even Dexter are a couple of guys that could play some end for you. But he's very versatile. You mentioned the motor. I think that's something that really caught their attention. Like, he just does not stop, which got him into trouble a few times with some personal fouls. But I'd rather have a guy play through the whistle than not. So, especially in the trenches. So I think he's going to bring an edge. I get some Akeem Hicks vibes with him in terms of just like his just attitude, which I really like. So again, there's some development and refining there, and I think some direction from the coaching staff in terms of what his role is. But again, this was a guy I viewed as a potential first-round pick at one point in the draft process. So to get him late in round 2, I think is good value. And he said he's almost 100% he'll probably participate in rookie minicamp. So that's a good sign as well.
For me, the most important thing, we talk about coaching again, but let's talk about mentorship. I think Grady Jarrett is the perfect guy for this guy, because he's already working out with Austin Booker, some of the other guys, Gervon Dexter out in Florida. He's already corralled those guys and working out. But to have a guy like Grady Jarrett, who has been a monster in this league for 10 years, and to have a vet like that kind of mold and mentor this guy, I think is a perfect thing for Shamar, because this guy can be. You talked about he was a first-round grade for many people until the injury. We get a first-round grade in the late second pick, and his mentor is a guy who's an all-pro, a Pro Bowler in Atlanta. Those are the kind of people that you see take big steps sooner than later when they have good mentorship. And Grady Jarrett is not shy about mentoring kids. He said that no problem. He goes, I got all the knowledge. He goes, whoever wants it, they can get it. And I think that's important, and especially with the other guys on the D-line too, the youngsters, even Gervon Dexter. You know what I mean? Even Gervon Dexter is going to be he's going to be a vital piece in the development of all those guys because of his experience and because of at the level that he's played for so long. So that's why I'm anxious to see how him and Shamar Turner get along, and how Turner plays, especially if they ask him to get back on the outside. Then holy cow. Because he ain't stopping until he gets that quarterback.
Yeah, we might look back at the Grady Jarrett move and say, you know what, he might have been a little overpaid for the player, but I don't think you can measure the impact he's going to have in the locker room and for the younger defensive linemen. Like, I will gladly overpay for a guy like that because he's seen it all and he's done it all. So, and they just have not had guys like him and Joe Tooney since Poles has been there. So I think they really made a calculated effort to bring in some vets who have played at a high level in this league and can still play, but B, can spread their knowledge within that locker room because they just have not had that hardly at all. I mean, Kevin Byard a little bit last year, but that's really it. So I love that addition. Tooney on the offense, and he's still playing at the peak of his power. So I would expect an extension soon there as well. But yeah, I love the Grady Jarrett pickup when it happened, and the Bears didn't see him becoming available. I don't think any of us had him on our radar, and boom, 4 hours after he's cut by the Falcons, the Bears get him signed up. So I think that move could pay huge dividends, not only in the short term but long term.
It was I remember on the show. It was the show. I got a notice came across. It said the Falcons cut Grady Jarrett. Like, damn, that'd be dope if we got him. And a few hours later, like, oh snap, perfect. It was unreal. So I think he's going to be a huge asset to this team, and I'm looking forward to he's that dog that we met. He got that attitude, and for him to hopefully, if he can convey that attitude toward those youngsters, especially Gervon Dexter. And I know Gervon Dexter's talented and he's strong and everything, but he just ain't that dog. He don't have that mentality. And if you can get some guys with that mentality, with the talent that they have, man, this defense looks a lot better. And this defense looks good to begin with, but it looks a lot better when you got some dogs on that side of the ball. I want them to start barking. Seriously, just start barking, get excited, get fired up, just be unstoppable. And I think Grady Jarrett's going to be a huge part of making his defensive line, especially one of the better ones in the NFL in 2025, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Harrison, great stuff, buddy. I really appreciate your time, bro. Do me a favor, though, before everybody know where they can find you and your work online.
Yeah, if you're on YouTube, Bears Now by Chat Sports, you can find me over there at HGram NFL on Twitter, Instagram as well. Feel free to interact. DMs are always open if you want to talk ball. Always enjoy doing that, and I'm sure I'll come back through before training camp or something. So anytime I'm available, always enjoy doing it, and I'll talk to you down the road. Should be fun.
Sounds good. Are you gonna be trying to make it up to training camp this year?
I'd like to. We'll see. I gotta. It's tough when you have a 2-year-old to make these things happen. So we'll see what happens. But I'll say this: whether I'm there watching from afar, I think this is going to be an intense-ass training camp. I really do. So Bears fans out there, if you can get out there for a day, I think it's going to be worth the price of admission. So I would encourage you to do that.
Cool. Great stuff, my man. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. We'll talk soon.
All right, man. Take care.
All right. Guys, that's Harrison Graham from Bears Now on Chat Sports, talking Bears with us. Wow, he gave it a B. All right. Give it a B. I'm liking this more and more. I'm excited. Rookie mini camp's coming up. All right, to see these guys. And I know we didn't talk about Loveland's shoulder. All right, but he said he's 3 months in, so he should be ready by training camp. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm intrigued by us being in the 21st century. Our offense being in the 21st century of offenses in the NFL. That's what has me the most intrigued about this season is we're going to be throwing the ball over the field, running the ball all over your freaking face. I love it. Multiple weapons. Not, oh, this guy could be good. This guy, no, good. DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Luther Burden. All right, Colston Loveland, Cole Kmet, DeAndre Swift. We'll see how Kyle Monange turns out, but man, we got weapons, and we got a guy who is on the cutting edge of offensive play calling in Ben Johnson. And we have a super talented young quarterback at the helm. If you're not fired up about this, I don't know what to tell you. And I know we all have our reservations because we thought last year was going to be good, and it should have been. Okay, bad coaching. And my only thing that tempers my enthusiasm is the fact that Ben Johnson's never done this before. There's a whole lot of different stuff that goes along with being a head coach. Now you're not just in charge of the offense. You're in charge of the offense, defense, the special teams, the stuff off the field. There's a lot that goes into being a head coach. It's taxing. It's a big increase in responsibility from the one you just had, which was a huge responsibility of calling an offense. And not everybody can be a head coach, especially if you're a play caller. So I'm anxious, and I hope he can get it done. Because let's be honest, there are some coordinators whose ceiling is a coordinator. I hope that's not the case with Ben Johnson. I hope it's not. I hope he's able to handle all the things, and not year one, of course. Don't be silly. I just want to see him have a clue. I want to see him not be overwhelmed by the situation. And I think the staff hires were huge. I think they're huge. Dennis Allen, former head coach, defensive coordinator. You have someone to lean on. Okay, I know Declan is not a offensive coordinator per se, but he was getting stuff ready at his last spot. Was it Seattle? Where's Declan? So my thing is this. He's going to understand and know his role, how to help Ben Johnson, because he's helped play callers before. Which is going to take a lot off. I'll do all the grunt work. Okay? Help Ben Johnson out. My man, Lucky Lefty said, I was concerned with the first-time head coaching thing, but after seeing his choice in staff, it eased my concern. Yeah, it did. And I'm still a little leery about it, because until you're under that interrogation light, ain't nothing like it. Ain't nothing like it. He can lean on Dennis Allen all he wants. He's the one who's going to get all the heat. He's the one who's going to get all the praise. So I'm anxious, and I hope he's able to navigate everything that comes with being a head coach. Because if he does, being a head coach and a play caller could be a great thing. This could be a situation where we literally become relevant quickly. And isn't that what we want? Yeah, we want Super Bowls. We want to be relevant again first and foremost. All right, no one gives a shit about the Bears. Nobody. All right, the Bears weren't scaring anybody for a long time. That was mostly because of the coaching. They had players, but the coaching, putting players in, it sounds so cliche-ish when people say, I want to put them in a position to be successful. But we saw last year, time after time after time, the coaching staff didn't put the players in the best position to be successful. And although it's a cliche, it is so important that the staff does that. And I think the staff will. Again, Dennis Allen knows what it's like to be a head coach and run a defense. Now he's just got to run a defense. It'd be a great resource. You know, we talked about Antoine Randall L. His demands for his wide receiver room are going to be intense. Al Harris, his demands in the secondary are going to be intense. Why? Because he played at a high level. When you play at a high level, then or let me just say this. When you play at a high level, you can really demand a lot from your players. He played at a high level for a long time. He can demand a lot from his player. Antoine Randall L., same thing. And let's not forget, yes, King Booker World, let's not forget Eric Bieniemy, the running back coach. Should have been a head coach somewhere, but had some personal situations. The stuff he's going to demand out of his running backs is going to be intense. And I love it. There's no ask no quarter, give no quarter in football. You have to go through you got to go through what you got to go through. And that's picking up linebackers. That's going through inside drill as much as they can with the collective bargaining agreement. But these guys are demanding. These coaches are demanding. But every single player who's played under these demanding coaches loves them. He loves them. You got people holding people accountable. Eric Bieniemy, man, he does not have a filter. We saw Antoine Randall. He was mic'd up. Man, players love him, and he'll get in your face. When you teach, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And the reason that people love these coaches who are hard on them is because you know they care. And they want the best out of them. Because if you bring the best out of me, guess what? I'm playing well. I'm contributing to this team in wins. And guess what? I'll be making more money. They're going to sign me for a second contract when I play my best. The coaching staff that they have now is one that is awesome on paper. The reputation from these guys precedes them. Eric Bieniemy, Dennis Allen, Antoine Randall. It precedes them, and there's some tough son of a guns, and I love it. I love it. You're right, Damani. Much needed culture change for the Bears. And yeah, we talked about the leadership. Joe Tunney, Grady Jarrett. These guys have done it, man. Joe Tunney's won Super Bowls. Grady Jarrett's all pros. Come on, man. I love it. I'm fired up, man. I'm fired up. Thinking about what can happen, the development of these players, what Grady Jarrett and Joe Tunney can do for the respective lines, offensive and defensive and offensive. The development, the step forward these guys can take. It's intriguing. But again, can Ben Johnson handle all that comes with being a head coach? It's a lot. Is he ready for the challenge? Guess we're going to find out. Well, listen, 2 hours is come and gone. I want to thank my guest, Harrison Graham from Chicago Bears Now. Coming out talking Bears with your guy, giving the draft grade a B. I'm right around there, B, maybe B minus, B. I would have liked a safety. All right. I know Jonathan Owens and all those other guys exhaled. So we should get another year of Simone Biles. Maybe I'll run into in the bowels in San Francisco again like I did this year. But I would have liked the safety. Otherwise, it would have been a higher grade. Probably an A. But, guys, I want you to have a phenomenal weekend, but I do want you to do this. I want you to reach out to your loved ones. Let your loved ones know you love them because tomorrow is promised to no one. Okay? Make sure you reach out there. Weekend's going to be nice. Reach out. Go to brunch, lunch, dinner, drinks, whatever. Happy hour, whatever. Do yourself that favor. I guarantee both you and your people, whoever you meet up with, will be very, very happy. Very, very happy. All right, guys, I am getting ready to get out of here. I got to go pick up the warden. Have a phenomenal weekend. I'll replay this tonight at 6 p.m. At 12:15, Lakina and Sid take you on another 2-hour conversation of Chicago sports and Second City Sports right here on Sports Zone Chicago. And then tomorrow, my guys, the Smoke Fellows, Damani, who's in the chat, and the guys, Ben, Kevin, KDL, maybe DY, Angry Man. They'll take you on another 2-hour trip of Chicago sports. They'll talk a lot more basketball tomorrow, as these basketball playoffs have been awesome, as LeBron is now eliminated. Oh, man. But anyway, guys, you have a phenomenal weekend. I hope great things happen to you and for you this weekend. All right, we'll see you on Monday. So from everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, I'm your boy, the Superback Shawn Sierra. I am out.